We are back. Welcome to Good Energy. Let's talk the WTA finals in Fort Worth, Texas. All the ladies are here. That's right, all 8 of them. But only one can win the championship. Could this possibly be the start of a three-peat for one of these champions? Remember, Serena Williams is the only WTA player to win the WTA finals 3 times in a row. One thing we do know is Garbiñe Muguruza. Her reign was very short as she had a very abhorrent year. It was brutal. What happened to Garbiñe? Anyone know? I know one thing, that match with Camila Giorgi when she spit on her hands, that was horrible. But guys, there's 2 groups. There's a Tracy Austin group that consists of Iga Swiatek, Coco Gauff, Caroline Garcia, and Daria Kasatkina. Then we have the Nancy Richie group, where we have Ons Jabeur, Jessica Pegula, Maria Sakkari, and Aryna Sabalenka. It's round robin style, and of course the top 2 players from each bracket will make the semifinals, where that will determine 2 ladies from each bracket to play for the championship. Now Iga Swiatek she's pretty much an even favorite to win it outright. Jessica Pegula is the 5-1 underdog to win it outright. Ons Jabeur is a 6-1 underdog to win it outright, as well as Coco Gauff. Sabalenka is a 7-1 underdog to win the championship. Caroline Garcia is a 9-1 underdog to win the whole thing. And the Greek goddess is a 12-1 underdog. And Daria Kasatkina is a 16-1 underdog to win it all. Who do you guys think is going to win it all? Comment below. But let's take a look at the first round of matchups. Now, the first matchup we'll look at is between Coco Gauff taking on Caroline Garcia. Now, these 2 ladies have played actually 3 times before. Coco owns the head-to-head, with the most recent, though, probably the most important, coming this year at the U.S. Open when Caroline Garcia, she pretty much just manhandled, or woman-handled, if you will, Coco Gauff 6-3, 6-4. Now, Coco started that match playing very well, but I think just the height of the match kind of got to her mental psyche, and she just literally collapsed. However, Coco did beat her earlier in the year at Doha in straight sets, 6-2, 7-6. The second set went to a tiebreak. And last year, Coco beat her at the Indian Wells, where that went 3 sets, but the third set, Coco destroyed Garcia, winning 6-1. Now, both of these ladies are coming into the finals here kind of on a different type of train. Coco's won 7 of her last 10, while Caroline Garcia's won 6 of her last 10. Overall, this is a matchup where Coco is the favorite, and we know when it comes to serving ability, both of these ladies have tremendous, powerful serves. I think Coco's got the stronger serve. She's clocked in at speeds over 130 miles per hour. Caroline Garcia is pretty strong as well. I would say Caroline's the more accurate server, though, and she's probably going to have the better service game. She's really consistent with aces. This is a matchup where if Caroline's going to win, she's going to need to get at least 8 to 10 aces. I feel once the ball's in play, Coco's the more athletic player, and I think Coco has the better variety than Caroline Garcia. Caroline Garcia is also a good net player as well as Coco, but Caroline Garcia, in my opinion, she still has that grown woman power. So if Coco gets in tough situations, I think Caroline Garcia will have the ability to hit through the defense that Coco can bring. But the reality here is this is a match that Coco owns a head-to-head, and if she plays her game and stays focused, she can certainly win this match. The next matchup we're going to take a look at is Iga Swiatek, the world's ranked number 1, taking on Daria Kasatkina. Iga's dominated this head-to-head matchup. Out of 5 matches, Iga's won 4 of them, and she's actually won 4 all 4 of them this year, starting at the Australian Open where Iga just demolished Daria in straight sets. Then they went to Dubai. Iga dominated her again in straight sets. In Doha, she gave her a donut in the second set. And at the French Open, 6-2, 6-1. This is a matchup where it's just the matchmakers, they know exactly what they're doing. With everything going on in the world, I really didn't think they wanted Kunamatova here in the singles, but Daria, look, she made it. She snuck in, and Iga's won 9 of her last 10. She's won 4 matches in a row, winning San Diego, and she's been resting and practicing ever since. She's been complaining about the schedule. She will not be competing in the Billie Jean Cup, and that's scary because not only is she rested, but she is ready for the WTA finals, and I think she wants to win it. This is a bad matchup for Daria. Daria's won 6 of her last 10 matches, but the loss to Kalinskaya was not good at all. And I say it all the time. Daria, she has great stamina. She's a great athlete, but her style of play is just not going to give her longevity. She's literally sweating profusely every single match. Although she's in great shape, she does get fatigued. And for her to win, she normally has to bring it into 3 sets because she leaves a lot of balls to be hit. Playing someone against Iga that's just a good shot maker, it's just a bad matchup. Not only is Iga a pattern player, she can disrupt Daria's defense, but she can hit all angles of the court that Daria is just not good at returning. Daria is not a great server, and she always elects to return if she wins the toss. So that lets you know her ability and her service games, which are very low for a top 10 player. You have to like Iga's chances to win this matchup, and she's a huge favorite, rightfully so. Of the Tracy Austin bracket, who's it going to be? It's going to be Iga and Coco battling in the semifinals. That would really be great. But let's say if it's Iga and Caroline Garcia. Garcia can manhandle Iga, in my opinion. She's got the grown woman power that can really disrupt what Iga wants to do, and she's not afraid. She plays very fast, 100 miles per hour, and if you can back up Iga, she's very uncomfortable. We see Iga at the net doing jumping jacks, and we know the stress. She says that's a stress reaction when she waves her racket at the net trying to distract her opponent. Imagine what Caroline Garcia does and the type of stress Garcia can put Iga under. I have to like Caroline Garcia's chances of getting through the Tracy Austin bracket if she faces Iga in the semifinals. Now the Nancy Richie bracket is going to be a little more tougher competition in my opinion. I think it's a lot more balanced, and to be honest with you, any one of these ladies can come through here. The first matchup we're going to take a look at is Jessica Pegula taking on Maria Sakkari. And listen, these two ladies have played 5 times, and look, the Greek goddess owns a head-to-head. A lot of people were shocked at what Pegula did to Maria in Mexico, but the reality here is, look, Maria, she had to be tired. I covered the match, and I stated myself, once an athlete plays earlier in the day and they cool down, they have a routine where they shut it down and they go into recovery. Maria came out guns blazing, and look, she won the first 2 service games, and I think she hit a brick wall. Maria does own the head-to-head 3-2. And we've seen Maria take out Pegula at Doha. We've seen her beat her in Miami last year, as well as Eastbourne a few years ago. These two ladies, though, 2 different styles of play. The Greek goddess, she's a lot more aggressive. I don't think she's as disciplined. She's very passionate, and when she makes mistakes, it can really disrupt her game. She gets down on herself. She loves to look at her coach in her camp, make faces, and I don't think that's the attributes of a focused, disciplined player. However, she's got the much stronger serve, and she's got the stronger forehand. If her forehand's on, she could blast anyone off the court. Jessica Pegula, on the other hand, look, she's not flashy. She wins. She's a lock to get to the semifinals of any big tournament, and she's been doing it all year, and I've been covering her all year, and I've been telling you to take her all year. She wins. She's consistent. She's very disciplined. She's got a decent serve. It's not strong, but her placement's good. She's got good net play. She's a good mid-range player. She can baseline, and she's very simple and technical. And when you're playing players that are not disciplined, they're not technical, they're sporadic, then you're gonna win eventually. And it's really a game of chess. And Jessica Pegula, she adjusts and adapts to whatever her opponents do. She is very well versed, and it's about time she starts getting the respect she deserves. Jessica Pegula is a really good player. However, I think this is a tough matchup. Jessica Pegula is a 2-1 favorite, and last time they played, she was also a 2-1 favorite. But Maria's going to be rested, and this matchup is very interesting. I wouldn't feel comfortable putting 2-1 on Jessica Pegula, to be honest with you, because I think it's a 50-50 match. But we're going to see how this turns out, because Pegula's the more disciplined player, but sometimes the risky players, they win because of their power. And then when they're able to dominate the way their style of play is, then a lot of times they can make their opponent they're playing fold. But this is going to be a good matchup, and in my opinion, I think this is probably the toughest matchup of the first round to choose. And the next matchup from the Nancy Richie bracket is going to be another tough one. I'm telling you guys, this bracket here is going to be really, really tough because any of these players can win any of these matchups. It really is a 50-50 matchup, in my opinion. This matchup is basically a pick'em. Ons Jabeur versus Sabalenka. And these two ladies, look, they're no strangers to each other. They've played before. They've played a total of 3 times, and Sabalenka owns a head-to-head. The last time they played was Wimbledon last year, where Sabalenka won that in straight sets. Before that, they played at Abu Dhabi, where Sabalenka also won that in straight sets. The only win Jabeur got over Sabalenka came at the French Open in 2020, and that had to go 3 sets, and that was on clay, slippery surface. And listen, guys, both of these ladies, they're professionals. They're great at adjusting to their opponents. But the reality here, Sabalenka's having a very mediocre year. She's had some very questionable losses, and she's coming into this tournament on a 2-match win streak, albeit some great opponents. Samsonova, she lost in Mexico in the second round. Dana Vekic in the quarterfinals at San Diego. But she has won 7 of her last 10, and Ons Jabeur's won 8 of her last 10. The loss to Claire Liu, look, I called that as an upset. Why? Because Claire Liu, she's really athletic, and she's unpredictable. Sabalenka is much more like a Camila Giorgi. She's straightforward. She plays one way, 100 miles per hour, kind of like a Maria Sakkari. I say all the time, Ons Jabeur is the most skilled player on tour, and that's because of her shot-making ability. She is very skilled. She practices all of these different types of shots, and she literally has mastered them. But she's not undefeated. She does have 15 losses on the year, and she can be defeated. And a lot of times, if you watch her matches, she struggles against really athletic players and really, really powerful players. And that's why I told you to take Claire Liu to upset Ons Jabeur. I just saw it coming. And this is a matchup here, to be honest with you, of all matches, if there's going to be an upset in this first round, it's going to be this one here. Sabalenka has the power to really hit through anything Ons does. And when Ons gets frustrated early, it's not a good sign. Ons needs to get off to a good start to win, and that's what she does normally when she wins a lot of her matches. She comes out to a fast start, and then she can play comfortable. But if she's playing from behind, that is not a good sign. And I can see Sabalenka coming out very powerful, just putting the pressure on Ons, and Ons struggling. However, Ons Jabeur is one of my favorite players, so I could easily see her making the finals here. I could see Ons and Iga. I could see Coco and Pegula. Look, it could be any combination. All of these ladies are talented. But the real question is, which bracket will the winner come from? Will it be the Tracy Austin group or the Nancy Richie group? Listen, without a doubt in my mind, these are the world's best 8 players. And whoever wins, it's going to be deserving and hard fought. This is good energy, guys. See you in Texas.